Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Hello, Dr. Gibson.
Hi. Hi. So can I check if my slide is working?
It
Can
should
you allow me
be,
to share my slides?
please give a second. Hello, Dr. Gibson. You will share your slides yourself, right?
Yeah. I want to share it from my side if that is possible.
Okay, fine. You can try sharing already.
No, the host is not allowing multiple presenters sharing for this
Okay,
meeting.
sorry. Our main coordinator, she will be in here very soon.
Maybe you can put me as a co-host so that I'm
Yes, yes. Please
can get the
give me a
access.
second. That will be fixed.
So try sharing it now. Maybe once I stop sharing, you can share it again.
Are you sharing something now?
Sir, your screen is visible.
Yes, now the slides is nearly good. Ma'am Ramaya, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm on behalf of her.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, sir.
Can you expand the slide?
Yes, sir. Expand it or
Uh, Full screen, or that's it?
this is enough? Wait a
Okay,
minute.
I think you can still make it a full screen size.
I'm not seeing the slide. So should I send my slide to you?
Okay, I can see actually from my end, I can see the technical person is handling your slide. You may also try to send to me, but I think if you can try to log in again, because the thing is, I can see your slides now from distance.
Okay, but sure.
I could not see my slide.
Okay, can you please send me your
Yeah,
slide?
I have sent my slides to you. Can you check your email?
No, I think you might have sent it to my co-coordinator somewhere else. Can you try again?
I have sent it to both of you. Wicham Binho, no?
All right, all right. It might be processing then. Wait, I mean, on the way. Okay, I got it. I got it. Please give me a half minute.
Sir, this is Ramya. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sir, do you want me to share the screen or you'll do the share screen?
Yeah, that is, if you can share, please share it. That will be better. That is
No,
where we are stuck now.
you're not able to share.
No, no, no. If you can share it, please share it from your end.
Yes, yes, yes. You have sent the PPT to my mail ID, sir.
Yes. The speaker has sent it to your email.
Participants, thank you very much for joining us for this afternoon. Extremely sorry for this 3 minutes delay. Please just take time now to share the screen. Give us a
Hello, ma'am Ramaya. Are you trying?
Can you see the screen, sir?
We can see now. We can see now.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's visible.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You can proceed. Thank you very much.
Okay. So we good to start, right? I want to welcome you to the first session of the day, formally. This FTP program organized by Department of Language, Culture and Society, College of Engineering and Technology, SRI IMST, Katan Kolhapur, along with Department of Linguistics, Tatso College, Sobima, Dimapur, Nagaland. I want to formally welcome the speaker and all the participants. Although we got some technical issue and got delayed by a few minutes, I hope we can manage it and have a meaningful time. So we have an expert today, a sociologist, basically, whose research is on migration and the urban experiences of Northeast communities, which really relates to our contemporary debates on language and labor mobility. His topic today will be, the topic will be language capital and urban mobility, English proficiency among Northeast youth in urban labor markets. Please allow me to introduce our speaker a bit. He is a very dynamic and very fruitful academic academician, research scholars. I cannot go into all of the details, but quickly, today's speaker, Dr. Thangnolan Kipjen, is an assistant professor in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences at IIT Madras. He holds a PhD in sociology from Northeastern Hill University, Shillong. Before joining IIT Madras, he taught at IIT Kanpur and St. Edmund's College, Shillong. His research focuses on migration, urban sociology, ethnography, and the social worlds of Northeast India. Dr. Kipsen has been a visiting scholar at Aarhus University, Denmark, and a fellow of the Asian Graduate Students Fellowship at the National University of Singapore. His work combines ethnographic depth with critical sociological analysis, making significant contributions to the study of migration and Northeast India in contemporary urban contexts. Dr. Kipzen, once again, I welcome you formally. Thank you for sparing your time to be with us this afternoon in our faculty development program. I also encourage our participants, although we have few numbers, after some time, the number will go up to like 50, 60. As we wait for them, we have to proceed with the session. So I would encourage the participants that we have a slot to discuss after the speaker. So I would encourage the speakers to have interactive session after the speakers presentation. Now, Dr. Kipson, I give you the time for your presentation.
Hi. Yeah, thank you so much for the beautiful introduction, Dr. Wicham Binho, if I pronounce it correctly. And to all the participants today, I'm very happy to be part of this the whole FDP faculty development program. Yeah, as you have mentioned, I'll be sharing some of my insights on what I have seen through my PhD, particularly through my PhD work, where I work among the Northeast migrants in Delhi, taking case study of Delhi, using ethnography as a methodology. So it's a kind of a learning process for me as well, because I have not seriously dealt with the English language and migration mobility as such. But when I was asked to present something on this, I thought, okay, this could be a very interesting part of my whole research. So yeah, so the title I have chosen is Language Capital and Urban Mobility, English Proficiency Among Northeast Youth in Urban Labor Markets. I'll be looking at how how English speaking skills of the particularly the youth of Northeast India is instrumental in finding jobs outside the region, particularly in cities, major cities like Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, and so on. So this is my introduction to the whole idea of how I will carry out the whole lecture. Yeah, maybe you can go to the next slide. I'm sorry, I have a bit of fever and cold, so please bear with me. See, as we all know, English is very much it's very much global. Its importance is seen and felt across the globe. So even in countries where English is not an official language, data says that some studies say that over two-thirds of employers say English is important for their business. So roughly about 85% of international organizations use English as one of their working languages. And over 80% of academic journals are written in English. So we see how English has become a kind of a global lingua franca, whether it's in organizations, whether it's in business, whether it's in academic, particularly in academics, in higher education institutions, as well as in journals. So 85% people use English as a way to communicate, to express their ideas in verbal or in written forms. So we see just trying to show you that English is something which is quite global, and English being so global, India as a nation, and particularly the northeastern states, could not escape from being part of this whole English network. So some way or the other, particularly the northeastern states, we could see that there is a since the coming of the British. If you look at the educational growth of the northeastern states, particularly the tribal states, we see how English is becoming Western education, particularly English, is becoming part of the whole foundational establishment. So one of professors from Italy says English is the real global language and is important in education, relations, and business. I'm the chairman of one of the largest Italian bank foundations, and we are dealing with more than 100 countries. Our work language is English. One of the quotations that I just want to show you that, Hello. Okay. Yeah. So this shows that even in places like Italy, where Italian language is quite popular, we see how when they deal with international organizations, relations, and education, and so on, English is used as a kind of medium. Next slide. Next slide. So even in countries where English is not an official language, how the employer says that there are career benefits for people with good English skills. These benefits include better starting salaries, faster progression through job grades, higher salary increases, and so on. This is something which I also found among Northeast migrants in cities who are working. I will show you some of the spaces where they are working. For example, people working in say call centers, BPOs, and so on, which requires a certain level of English speaking skills. This Northeast migrants with better English skills have better starting salaries. So the HR and the employees would look at the way they speak. If they're good, if they can speak proper kind of accent, the Western accent, their starting salaries is much higher. And also in terms of progression, promotions, and so on, that will increase their English level skill, will also increase their chances of going up the ladder. So even higher salaries and so on. So these are some of the introduction that as a whole English is used as a kind of global medium. Yeah. Next slide. So, given the role of language as a lingua franca in a range of professional domains globally, there's an increased amount of research exploring values of English. For example, Froese and others explored, revealed that for migrants workers in South Korea, the use of Korean at work was useful in terms of cultural adjustment, but that English also had functional and status-related values. So when you talk about example, Japan, say Korea, where South Korean is quite popular. So however, studies shows that English skills will give you more kind of status and other related values. Other scholars like Land studies demonstrate how in Taiwan, English language skills boost the cultural capital of female Filipino domestic service workers who, despite the low status generally, have a socio-economic advantage that can be attributed to the English language skills. This is something which is also it's quite similar to notice domestic workers in Singapore, where I had the chance to do research in 2015 and 16. These employers look out for people who can speak certain kind of English, particularly among domestic workers in Singapore. So these people from Northeast India who went to Singapore as domestic workers, helpers, have certain level of English speaking skill that really attracts the employers, the Singaporeans, to employ many people from India, particularly the northeastern part of India, who are willing to take up this kind of jobs or other well-educated Singaporeans and even Indians aren't willing to take up. So these basic speaking skills, English speaking skills, help them in getting jobs, not just in India as well, but also in countries like Singapore, in Macau, there are domestic workers there in as well, Hong Kong, and so on. So some studies have pointed out to this studies. There is one article which I was referring to as well. The immigrants move where their skills are scarce. Evidence from English proficiency. Here, the finding shows that migrants who learn English during compulsory education are more likely to migrate to countries where few individuals speak English and where hence their skills are scarce. Better language skills not only foster migration, but that they are but they also redirect migration towards countries where those skills are scarce. So here, what I want to say here is that particularly looking at the case of Delhi and some other cities, these emerging spaces like BPOs, call centers, retails, and other service sectors that requires English speaking skills. So, there is not much English speaking labor available to work in these spaces. And this is where the Northeast labor are in high demand, particularly in shopping malls. If you go to shopping malls in, say, cities like Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, and others, you see a lot of Northeastern people, right? In other words, it's filling the gate, which requires certain kind of English speaking ability. With that, some of the interview narratives that I will show you later on. Can you go to the next one? So now I'll come to the Northeast and see how historically in the last few decades, how literacy rate and the medium of English speaking skills actually help in mobility, in migrating outside the region and finding jobs and so on. So background touch, I will look at, let's look at how multilingual Northeast India is. So some of the data here, which I'm using, says that if you look at this data, say like the 6 Northeastern states, if you look at the percentage of major languages used in all these states, for example, Arunachal Nishi, 28%, Assam, Assamese, 48%, Manipuri, 53%, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, and so on. Here we can see that except in the states of, say, Manipur and Mizoram, where Meitei, or say Manipuri, or the Lusai Mizo is spoken by more than 50%. Majority of the states do not have a major language spoken by more than 50%. So here we can see that English has become a part of the lingua franca among people to communicate. For example, if you look at example of Shillong, for example, which is an education hub for northeastern states of India. So here, the English language as a lingua franca is quite common in the sense that, for example, when you go out to buy some vegetables in the market, these vegetable sellers would speak to you in English, like how much you want. Even this street vendors use English as a way to communicate. So for you, you do not speak Khasi, you do not speak Garo, but that English skill that you have is becoming kind of a medium to communicate among each other. So what I want to say here is that since most of the northeastern states do not have, majority of them do not have at least say 50 plus percentage of people speaking the major language, English could be one of the lingua franca. Next slide. There is one study which is ongoing. I was going through this some of their proposals, and they're trying to look at English as a local lingua franca in multilingual ecology of Northeast India, which started only this year. This is a University of Bonn research project. Let us see what comes out with this project. And I find it very interesting because they're trying to look at English as a kind of local lingua franca among northeastern states of India. That's something which I also find along with Hindi. English also could be one of the lingua franca. Taking examples of, as I have mentioned, since I have spent most of my time in Shillong, I don't have problem navigating around the city, the streets, and so on, because I could speak certain level of I mean, even the locals, the street vendors, and so on could speak English, and communication is not a big challenge. So if you look at this table given below, give the details of languages taught at different states of education in 8 northeastern states of India, according to the 7th All India School Education Survey. So here we can see that you can go down Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, primary, upper primary, secondary schools. We see how English is also taught at all levels of education: primary, upper primary, and secondary. Can you go to the next slide? Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, look at the primary, upper primary, and secondary. English is very much a part of the whole teaching language. Sikkim is the same thing. Tripura, Bengali, English, primary, and the secondary, they have the Bengali, English, Sanskrit, and so on. So one interesting thing, next one. The next slide. So one interesting thing is this, what I find interesting is this medium of education. How the northeastern people, states use English as a medium of teaching. So if you look at this data, which it clearly says in Arunachal Pradesh, from primary, upper primary to secondary and higher secondary, English is used as a medium of teaching. Assam also has English as one of the medium of teaching, though Assamese, Bodo, and other Bengali languages are also used. Manipur also has Manipuri, Hindi, English, but when it comes to higher education, English is the only medium of teaching. Meghalaya, only at the primary level, they have English, Garo, Khasi, and others as a medium of teaching. But when it comes to upper primary, secondary, and higher education, it's called English again. So same thing with Mizoram, English and Mizo as a mixed kind of language. Nagaland, another one. Sikkim, if you look at Sikkim as well, from primary, there is English up to the higher secondary. Tripura also has Bengali and English. So what we can see here is that most of the states and northeastern states use English as a medium of teaching. With this, in a way, plays a very crucial role in imparting that kind of capital, language speaking capital, among this youth. And when they go out of the region, that really helps them in getting jobs. And also, if you look at the northeastern states, the history of education itself, most of the hill states, with the coming of the British and with the introduction of Western education, that's how English has its penetration in most of the tribal states of Northeast India, which is still continuing. Literacy rate, go to the next slide. I'll go a bit faster. Next slide. Yeah, let's look at the comparison between, also we all know northeastern states of India has a very high literacy rate, right? Most of the states are above national average, except Arunachal Pradesh and Assam, according to 2011 census. And national average is about 74%. So if you look at this data, it says that majority of the states, except Assam and Arunachal Pradesh, has very high literacy rate. Mizoram has about 90 plus literacy rate. So this form of literacy, level of literacy, really help people, particularly the youth, when they migrate outside the cities. Yeah, English as a medium of instruction in schools and high literacy rate across northeastern states, along with the regions, comparatively high literacy rates has played a significant role in enabling it to migrate outside the region in search of employment. Early exposure to English equips students with communication skills that are highly valued in India's expanding service sector, especially in core centers, corporate offices, hospitality, education, and urban job markets, which I will discuss more later on. As a result, Northeast migrants often find it easier to access jobs in metropolitan cities like Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, and others, where English proficiency is essential for customer-facing and professional roles. Combined with limited local job opportunities, especially in government and private sectors within the region, this educational advantage encourages outward migration. Thus, English language schooling and high literacy rates serve as key drivers, enabling Northeast youth to participate in India's wider economy and secure employment beyond their home state. So what I argue here is that there is lack of employment opportunities in northeastern region because of the region's law and order, history, long history of insurgency, and so on. So people, particularly the youth, after attaining certain level of education, a +2 or even after graduation and even masters, they move out of the region in search of jobs. And this skilled, their English speaking skill, really help them in getting access to employment opportunities when they move outside of the cities. There are two important studies in the next slide. One is the right one is the work by Duncan McDoria. Northeast migrants in Delhi, race, refuse, and retail, published in 2012. This is a case ethnographic study of Northeast migrants in Delhi. And the next one is the Leaving the Land, Indigenous Migration and Effective Labor in India by Dolly Kikon and Ben Carson. These are there are also some other studies, but these two studies are very crucial in understanding how Northeast migrants and their soft skills, English speaking skills really help them in navigating life in the cities and also getting jobs and employment opportunities in the cities. So in Leaving the Land, Kikon and Karshan explore how the migration from rural Northeast India, especially from the tribal communities, to Indian cities and even to foreign countries is shaped by a mix of economic needs, social aspiration, and changing cultural values. A crucial part of this process is language, particularly English speaking skills. Here, in Leaving the Land, the Dolly and Karshan introduced this concept of effective labor, which involved producing or manipulating a kind of emotions and social interactions. And these English speaking skills are central to this role, which I will discuss more when I come back. The next book is about Duncan McDouglas, which is one of the best book on Northeast migrants outside the region, highlights how young people from the region navigate a city where they face racial discrimination, limited acceptance, and everyday challenges of survival. One important factor that enables them to adapt to Delhi is their strong English language proficiency. We all know the kind of racial discriminations that Northeast people face when they come to cities. So English and also finding jobs is quite an issue for these migrants. But Duncan argues that this English speaking skill is one of them that helps them get jobs in cities like Delhi. So he further argues that northeastern states use English as a medium of instructions in schools and colleges. Coupled with the high literacy rates, this gives Northeast migrants a distinct advantage in Delhi's urban labor market, particularly in sectors that require communication skills such as hospitality and retail, as I have mentioned. Retail like shopping malls, where you find a lot of Northeast people working there. You will see that it's basically one of the factors, one of the key factors that employer want from these Northeast people is their English speaking skills. Core centers I have mentioned, BPOs and so on is one of them. Customer related services, restaurants, hotels, others, and so on. So English as social and economic capital. So for many young people from Northeast India, English is not just a subject learned in school, but a resource that can improve their chances of migrating successfully. Because tribal communities often attend English medium schools, as I have mentioned in some of the data there, they tend to have better communication English compared to many other regions. This becomes an important advantage in sectors like, as I have mentioned, hospitality sectors, food, beverages, retail, shopping malls, customer services, BPOs, and others. Airlines, as we all know, if you recognize most of the airlines in India, whether it's Indigo or Air India and so on, you will see at least one Northeast people as a crew there. This is one of the rising employment sector for the Northeast people. This happens because of one of the reasons was their English speaking skills, beauty salons, and so on. So, so thus English speaking's ability becomes a form of capital that makes urban migration easier and increase the chances of employment for most of these Northeasterns. Second is this what I call niche labor market, like I have mentioned. Carson introduces, and Kikon and Carson introduces this concept of effective labor. In other words, you have to, this is work that involves the kind of emotions, social interactions, right? So you're serving, you say you're working in a beauty salon. So the way you connect to people, the way you speak to the customers and so on will define your successes, your way of employment. So English skills is centered to this effective labor. So performing a service with a smile, like in a high-end Bangalore, Delhi salon, an audition employee is just not serving a drink or giving a haircut. They are performing kind of friendly English-speaking cosmopolitan services that the customer is paying for. Their English fluency is part of the commodity being sold. Racialized and ethnicized labor. The migrants' physical appearance combined with their English skills makes them a distinct and desirable workforce in the eyes of the employers. This creates a specific ethnic niche, but it also confines them to these service sector roles, limiting our mobility. So we see how if you go to Bangalore, particularly in Bangalore, you see most of these beauty salons and so on are run by Northeastern people because of this skill that they have. As I mentioned, that the effective labor, dealing with people, speaking to the customers in such a way that it's cordial and it's friendly, and their use of English as a medium of communication. This really helped them in creating their visibility, creating a neighborhood in most of these cities. For example, Delhi, if you mentioned, Savdazang is becoming one of the Northeastern hubs, and if you go there, you see a kind of Northeast neighborhood there itself. Beauty parlors, etc., are run by Northeastern people. Bangalore, Kamanahali, and all these areas, you see a lot of Northeastern stores. beauty parlors and so on, whose customers are basically others, in other words, quote unquote others. So in other words, we see how this kind of labor and this kind of skills actually help the Nordic community in establishing their own communities in cities, networks, neighborhoods, and so on. Okay, go to next one. Let me skip a little bit. Why English matters in call centers and BPOs? As I have mentioned, call centers and BPOs recruit a lot of non-distant people, and this is because of their English speaking ability that they learn through the high schools, upper primary, and even the even +2 and so on. So this is because one factor is customer interaction. These jobs involve constant phone or online communication. English becomes the medium through which workers can respond to customer queries, complaints, and service, etc. For example, even in Amazon in India, if you want to talk to the customers, you are given the option like Hindi, English, and so on. So this English part, most of the English options, these jobs are particularly very common among Nordic people. Also, many BPOs handle outsourced work from the US, UK, and other English-speaking countries. Workers must speak English to perform tasks like technical support, telemarketing, and client communication. So most of these call centers, BPOs, in other words, serve Western countries, UK, US, particularly United States, and so on. So for them, speaking in English is very crucial. And the way they speak, the accent that they use will help them in getting jobs in these spaces. For example, in one of my interviews, during my PhD, one lady who has been there in Delhi for about 7-8 years, she told me that I came to Delhi after class 12. Besides working, I also did correspondence BA course in ICNU. I'm presently working at American Express, which is one of the best companies. To get in this company is very tough, but I think we notice people can learn and speak fluent American English without much difficulty. So it was not difficult for us to get into these jobs. I can see that many of us are working in the call center jobs. See, it's in a companies like say American Express, one of the best companies, which pays very well. You see a lot of Nordic people working there. She further narrated that once I was dealing a customer about opening bank account in the United States. I guess the customer was impressed with my work. He asked for my supervisor if he can talk. They talked through the phone and he praised me so well for the work I performed. He thought I wasn't American, but instead he found out that I'm an Indian. He did not believe that I can speak fluent American accent. My supervisor was very happy for me. The company occasionally selected best workers among all of us by listening to our recorded calls. Those who got selected are called as a rock star and they are given bonus of rupees 5,000. I have been selected as the best analyst for a few times now. So here, through this narrative, we can see how fluent speaking English, Western English accent really help these Nordic migrants in navigating life in the city and also finding jobs in the city. This is not something that they learned overnight. It's something that they have been accustomed to speaking from the level of the high school, 10+2, even graduation, and so on. So we see how it's very important for them to get this to have this English knowledge. And even now she's working in, I'm still in touch with her. She has occupied very high position in this American Express. So we see how it's a form of social mobility and also a form of economic mobility for the these migrants because of this English skill. Yeah, many migrants migrate to cities with education qualification as high as master level. As we all know, northeastern states is something which is struggling with unemployment. lack of industrial growth, and so on. So people, usually the youth, after plus 12 for graduation, comes out of the region to find jobs. So one of the migrants says, call center was my first choice. The pay here is high as compared to others. I went only for call center interviews. When I reached Delhi, since I had a master degree, I did not want to work in some other jobs. Call center pays much higher than other jobs. I did not take much to find the job, the first job. It may be because I had higher education qualification in English speaking ability. I earn about 10,000 per month, which when I first came, now it has increased to triple. So we see how these call centers, BPOs, are also one of the most sought jobs among the Northeast migrants because it pays higher. They pay higher because of this, their English speaking ability. As I've mentioned, if they speak well, if they do well in the communication, in their interaction with the customers, they can get kind of extras. They can even move up the ladder and so on. Next, next is retail and malls. You can also see many of the Nordic people working in retails and shopping malls and so on. So the emergence of the great Indian middle class has brought in a kind of retail revolution across India. These new consumer spaces are exemplified by high growth of shopping malls. Unlike neighborhood bazaars where shops are usually organized along adjoining lanes and may include dry market goods like clothes, electronics, alongside wet markets, goods like fish and vegetables. Shopping malls are contained spaces without wet markets, goods, control climate. Entry is restricted. Customers are dropped at the door in the vehicles, and restaurants and cinemas are included under one roof. So that looks use the term new temples of India to refer to these shopping malls, arguing that the shopping malls are not dedicated anymore to gods, but devoted to consumer consumption and leisure. It includes numerous outlets of foreign retail chains of offering international brand names, cinemas, restaurants, and more. Brochures has pointed out consumer spaces like shopping malls satisfies the desire of the urban and middle class to live abroad in India. So in other words, these spaces are becoming like shopping malls and retails are spaces that middle class and upper class Indians wants to go there and experience a kind of what Duncan McDoria called living outside what is that to live abroad in India. So these spaces requires people who can speak a kind of better English skills and so on. So, but Duncan McDonough further argues that these consumer spaces serving these classes seek an aesthetic that transport consumers away from the city and even the nation outside and into the global war of fashion, food, and brand name consumer goods. These malls symbolize a fast-growing consumerist culture as a new leisure activity like window shopping, which is restricted to the upper middle classes. This mall culture further reflects the aspiration embedded in global identity. So the Northeast migrants, with their physical features more similar to the East and Southeast Asian people, and the English-speaking skills are in great demand to work in these spaces. In these global spaces, Northeast tunnels are welcome and desired because they look, speak, and act an Indian. In a country where caste consciousness is very strong, Northeast people are regarded to be both neutral and exotic. They are associated with they are not associated with a particular caste, regional group within the boundaries of mainstream India. Therefore, Northeast labor force construct a space that is in India but not of India, perfect for world-class aspirants of middle class. That's what Duncan McDowell wrote in his book, Northeast Migrants in India. So we see how middle class Indians, particularly the middle class Indians who are frequent visitors of these shopping malls, uh, uh, prefer going to these malls because of its aesthetic looks, which is occupied by workers who look, speaks, and act an Indian. And this is something he refers to the Northeast migrants. So one of my my respondents narrated that I went to meet the HR one day. She told me to come to my office with all necessary documents. They did not ask many questions. I think they mostly decide based on my English speaking ability. I also heard they prefer Nordic people because of the way we dress and the makeups. So I went with proper dress and makeup. I guess that brought success in my interview. So In other words, it's not difficult for Nordic people to find jobs in these spaces. It looks like it's easier for them when they speak proper English and if they dress well to find jobs in this kind of retails and shopping malls. Next, another respondents told me he themed, yeah. Many of the customers thought I'm from Korea, Japan. Sometimes they even asked for photographs. Their children also like us. They would come and talk to us and take selfies. These customers are wealthy people with high-class lifestyles, and their dresses are also very high class. They communicate in English. That makes it much easier for us. So we see how there are also other factors, as I mentioned. Their Mongoloid looks and Southeast Asian looks also plays a crucial role in getting jobs in these spaces. But also along those lines as well, these speaking skills or say the English knowledge is also one that helps them get jobs in these spaces, particularly in call centers and these retails and shopping malls. Yeah, next. One of the respondents also shared that I work at Select City Work in a US-based dress company store. It is a premium luxury brand, so the prices are high. Since the prices are high, the customers are also from well-to-do family. The way they dress and the language that they use are different from normal customers. We're expected to dress in a certain way and speak good English. This is very crucial. Speak good English. So that's what they want. So we have to show to the customers that we have all these qualities. We know distant people are good in dressing. We know the latest fashion. We don't have much problem in dealing with the dress issue. Even customers used to ask us which one to choose from the items we are selling because they believe that we know the latest trend. So it's a combination of all these factors. It's not just, as I mentioned, it's not just the English speaking. It's not just their soft skills, that effective labor that Karsten and Kikon has addressed. It's not just about their educational qualification. It's not just about their Mongoloid features and so on. It's a combination of all these factors, and all these factors. One of them is this English speaking ability, because as I've mentioned, in shopping malls and high-end restaurants and these brand stores, they have customers coming from very high class kind of status, and they want someone to serve them good, right? They want someone to serve them good. In other words, they want someone who can speak to them in proper English, who dresses very well, who knows the latest fashion, the latest trend, and so on. So in this kind of space, in this kind of labor demands, the Nordic people are one who fill this gap. And that's one of the reasons why you will find in most of these cities, whether Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, and others, call center jobs and these retails and shopping malls, the high concentration in these spaces. So this is my whole understanding of how I look at Nordic migration to cities. And one of the crucial factors, I argue, is that it's because of their English knowledge, English speaking skill. Historically, as I have mentioned, Northeastern states are introduced to the Western education by the British after the coming of the British, which continues on even after independence. So yeah, so it's something which needs a kind of proper, or say deeper research, but it's something which is going to shape the migration pattern of Nordic people in cities in the coming years or decades as well. Now I could see even not just in India, people of Northeast India, they are migrating outside the countries. For example, in countries such as Singapore, as I have mentioned, you find many people working there as domestic workers. You find people in Dubai, you find people in United States, UK, Europe, and others. Particularly Dubai and this Middle East countries are also becoming popular among these Nordic migrants. And one of these factors that that help in migrating to these countries is this English skills that they have developed through their educational journeys. This is something that I've introduced. And next slide. I just want to introduce you to the NEP. The next slide. So, National Education Policy 2020 also recognizes India's linguistic diversity and wants to promote a kind of multilingual mode of education. As we all know, the three-language policy is something that the NEP has seriously talked about, the three-language policy. The policy encourages teaching in the mother tongue or regional language, arguing that children learn concepts more effectively in a familiar language. However, NEP does not diminish the importance of English. Instead, it positions English as an essential skill for global competitiveness while balancing it with strong foundational learning in local language. So it's a mix of local vernacular languages, which could be the local language, the Hindi, and also the English. Not just English. NEP also focus on foreign languages like Chinese, Spanish, French, and so on. This is part of the whole NEP policy. So English is very much part of the NEP policy of the government of India. So, for example, in 4.14, NEP is around 66-page document. Here you see in 4.4, all efforts will be made in preparing high-quality bilingual textbooks and teaching learning materials for science and mathematics so that students are enabled to think and speak about the two subjects both in their home language, mother tongue, and in English. So here also clearly clarifies that English is much part of the whole policy. 4.20 also talks about, in addition to high quality of offerings in Indian languages and English, foreign languages, as I've mentioned, like Korean, Japanese, Thai, French, Portuguese, Russian, and others, will also be offered at the secondary level for students to learn about the culture of the world and to enrich their global knowledge and mobility according to their own interests and aspirations. This is something which is already happening for the Northeast people, right? As I mentioned, because of their English, because of the English speaking skill, we could see people migrating not just outside the region into Indian cities. Also, we see people migrating outside the country, Middle East, Australia, even Singapore, Macau, Middle East, and so on. So, which is something which is already happening for the Northeastern youth. So, in D.4 also talks about state institutions offering a law education must consider offering bilingual education for future lawyers and judges in English and in the language of the state in which the institution is situated. So the fundamental principles that will guide both the education system at large as well as individual institutions within it are promoting multiculturalism and the power of language in teaching and learning. So in other words, NEP is all about promoting multilingualism. So which is the whole idea and policy of the government of India. Next. Multilingualism and the power of language. Here in 4.12, document 4.12 also says, as research clearly shows that children pick up languages extremely quickly between the age of 2 and 8, and that multilingualism has great cognitive benefits to young students. Children will be exposed to different languages early on, but with the particular emphasis on the mother tongue, starting from the education foundational stage onwards. So here it's focused on different languages, not just the mother tongue, but also different languages. As I've mentioned, those Hindi or English or any other foreign languages as well. So the three-language formula will continue to be implemented while keeping in mind the constitutional provisions, aspirations of the people, regions, and the union, and the need to promote multilingualism as well as promote national unity. So the three-language formula, the local vernacular language, Hindi or English, or say can be the third language. The third language could be Sanskrit or Spanish or any other languages. So this are whole part of the whole. I mean, English as a language is very much part of the whole NEP policy. Next. Yeah. So the vision of Viksit Bharat, India as a developed country by 2047, emphasizes India that is globally competitive, socially inclusive, and economically dynamic by 2047. In this national project, the English speaking skills of Northeast people, migrants, plays a strategic and transformative role in several interconnected ways. One is strengthening India's service economy. Sectors such as BPOs, call centers, hospitality, as I have already mentioned, aviation, healthcare support, retail, customer services rely heavily on English communication. So Northeast migrants enter these sectors more smoothly, feeling critical labor shortages, as I have mentioned, all those narrative and examples. So their English skills directly contribute to India's global service economy, which is a major pillar of the Viksit Bharat. Second is this enhancing India's global workforce competitiveness. As India aims to become a key provider of skilled labor to international markets, English fluency becomes essential. Migrants from Northeast are migrating out of the country, as I've mentioned, in Gulf countries, Southeast Asia, hospitality, caregiving sectors, particularly in UK, you see many Indian nurses. Singapore, you see many Indian nurses. United States, you see Indian nurses who are migrating there. Northeast migrants, I mean. So this linguistic abilities help India project a globally employable workforce, aligning with national goals for economic growth through remittances and overseas employment. And next is empowerment. The Northeast has historically been marginalized, but English-speaking youth from the region are now participating in the national labor markets. With globalization and particularly with liberalization, the northeastern states are opening up and people migrating out to find livelihood opportunities, to strengthen the link between the Northeast and the mainland India, and so on. In other words, though they are marginalized for many decades, this kind of skill, this kind of opening up jobs through globalization and liberalization would enhance and empower the Northeast people. Facilitating effective labor and emotional economies. Following Kikon's and Carson's analysis, Northeast migrants excel in effective labor. As I've mentioned, care of the customers, the way they speak, the way they talk, the way they deal with the customers is something which they learned culturally in Northeast India. So with that, which depends on care, kind of politeness, emotional engagement, which they already have as a kind of cultural capital. This helps them jobs in finding jobs in cities. So English is the medium through which this emotional labor is delivered. This makes them valuable in sectors that demand empathy, global style service, essential for a modernized, service-oriented India. So we can see that this whole skilled language capital that the Northeast people has acquired is something which is also part of the whole national projects of Viksit Bharat becoming a developed nation by 2047, and that the Northeast people can play a very crucial role in this national project, Viksit Bharat 2047. Yeah, I think that's all I have for today. Thank you so much. If there's any kind of suggestions or comments, maybe I can take up few suggestions.
All right. Dr. Gibson, thank you so much for your beautiful talk presentation in a very appropriate, time slot. I appreciate you for that. Despite your health, you could make the presentation very lively. Thank you so much for showing us some insights, some data about the language skill of our youth, the multilingual nature, the way they are like being migrated outside for job opportunities and all. So you showed us like English is not just a language skill, but it's a form of capital that shapes our youth, that helps them to navigate the mobility, aspiration, and opportunity in India's urban labor market. Obviously, empowering our youth with multilingual competence, say, for example, mother tongue for identity, regional languages for network or cohesion, and English for national and global mobility. Directly aligns with the nation's development goals, especially the Viksit Bharat 2047. Strengthening this linguistics capital can ensure that youth from Northeast are not just participants but active contributors to the emerging knowledge economy of the developed India. Although these looking at the mass migration, although it is not yet to use right time to use the word mass migration, it hearing your presentation, it also makes me to think like there's a deeper level to think. Like, what if all our youth begin to like mass outside the Northeast? Who will look after the Northeast or their home state? And that is exactly happening because all our priority is now on English. I'm not saying English should not be focused, but there is a failure in balancing between the local and global thing. Although this is not part of to be discussed in today's discussion, but thank you so much for the important insights into this in this area. I would like to request the participants to put some questions or comments or anything to our speakers related to today's session. Now, it is open for you.
Yes, dear participants, you can leave your questions in the chat box as well. Um, okay, Dr. Kipken, actually, can you hear me? Am I audible? Okay, so when we talk about NEP 2020, it emphasizes on multilingualism, where English is also one of the languages like which acts as a bridge language. So how can we, balance the policy's multilingual approach with the economic necessity of English for urban mobility?
As I have discussed, this is one of the factors. It's not. I'm not arguing that the English speaking skill is the only factor that let people find proper jobs and say quicker jobs in cities. It's one of the contributing factors. So there are also debates going on saying that our dependence, huge dependence on English is also uh, hindering progress for vernacular languages. There are also some debates going on, but in the context of, at least in the context of the northeastern states, particularly the tribal states, I feel that this language capital is one that actually helps people improve the social and economic standings, particularly when it comes to migrants. This case study, the experience that I've shared is for the migrants and migration. So, at least in the context of Northeast tribal groups, I feel that this English skill is one that contributes uh, immensely to the economic and social mobility. As I mentioned, NEP is one that we have clearly mentioned about multilingualism. So let's see how it's played out in the ground. Most of the states, particularly Meghalaya, Mizoram, Sikkim, and others, use extensively English. So there is a huge demand for using the vernacular languages. Yeah, that's something which the state government has to implement, and let's see what comes out through this NEP with more focus on the vernacular kind of local languages, at least at the primary and the upper primary level.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Kipken, for this wonderful session. In fact, where you talk about the language capital mobility as well as the employability among the Northeast youth. This talk, it also makes us think how English proficiency functions as a form of, social currency in the urban labor markets, which has, helped us rethink the relationship between language identity as well as opportunity. So I think this discussion has also provided us with, directions for future research, policy alignment with the NEP 2020, and deeper understanding of how language can create and be a bridge between the socio-economic divides. So we are really grateful to have you here today. Thank you so much for the thought-provoking discussion, in fact.
Thank you.
Yeah. Participants, you can ask any questions if you have, or you can even leave it in the chat box.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Ramya from SRM. Thank you very much for that insightful session, giving us a data of how employability and language is interconnected. Yes, and also, am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
you're audible.
Yes.
How employability and language is interconnected. You were talking about how the labor market is in demand of this language quotient and how they prioritize language learning, especially English language. Sir, can you please enlighten us on how this industry academia collaboration can be done in terms of NEP 2020 and Viksit Bharat related to labor industry academia?
Okay, can you repeat again, ma'am? Like the way your voice was a little bit breaking, so I could not. Industry and what is that?
Industry and academic relationship.
I was talking about the industry and academia connect. How can that be done in light with an NEP and the Viksit Bharat? Because the entire topic spoke on Viksit Bharat's economy. Yes, 2047. How the economic growth actually has to happen in terms of a developed nation. Yes. So in terms of as academicians, how can we connect? But you're talking also about the labor markets. How can we bring in a connect with academia and the corporate or the industry in order to justify or say that we are marching towards a Viksit Bharat 2047?
That's a very interesting question. When we talk about Viksit Bharat, India as a developed nation, it involves different aspects of economy, of social, and so on, right? It's not just about say migrants or corporate. There are different arenas, department that needs to be developed. One of them, as I mentioned, based on the lecture, is about the link, as you mentioned, the link between the corporate or say industry and the academia. I'm not sure about the academia, but when we talk about say the English and the corporate, I feel that India to be a developed nation, the corporate has a very crucial role to play. Industry has a very crucial role to play because, as I mentioned in one of the points, enhancing India's global workforce competitiveness. So, in order to have Indians workers that can compete with the global the world, we need that kind of capital, which use English as kind of as a communication. And in the introduction that I have mentioned, as I mentioned, majority of 85% of academia is in English, right? One of the first slides, and also people in corporates use English as a kind of particularly when they deal with the foreign relations and businesses. English is used as a kind of lingua franca, as a medium of communication. So in this space, I see that there are Northeast people with that kind of better skill. At least from my field data, I have mentioned about one lady working in the American Express with her fluent American English. She gets that kind of awards. She gets that kind of promotion in the organization itself. So in these spaces, I could see that this Northeast people with their language capital can play a very crucial role in contributing to India's vision of becoming a developed, or say, developed country by 2047. That's what I see. But it's not kind of it's not without challenges. There are challenges, but I see that especially in the context of Northeast migrants, that's where they can play a role in corporate and their skills. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes, it is a great challenge, especially when it comes to migrant laborers who should have the basic education, though they try to acquire the minimum language which they have to for the sake of survival. But this NEP 2020's policy of multilingualism will definitely help even the migrants who at least have a basic education of class 10 to 12 and then move on for their skilled labor. I'm sure there will be a kind of push for all of them, for the entire nation, to acquire a language for survival. Yes, so you definitely have answered my question. Thank you so much.
See, also, it's as I have mentioned, it's not without challenges. There is what they call MTI, mother tongue influence, which is very common among most of the local communities, right? For example, the Cookies will have their own accent of English. The Nagas will have their mother tongue influence kind of thing. So actually, it's a challenge when some of these migrants, when they set for interviews, this mother tongue influence actually became kind of hindrance, as some of the employers felt that the mother tongue influence is too much. So because they are speaking with the American customers, is it not? So they should have at least some level of American accent. So it's a kind of there are cases when even in YouTube and Reels, you must have seen how American customers, when they realize that this is an Indian, people that they're talking to, they would feel like, okay, these are Indians, it's from India. So that kind of stigmatization is still there. It's not a kind of it's not without challenges. That's something that I want to say. But there's this issue also of mother tongue influence. It's not like all Nordic people with the English skill gets job easily in that kind of space. But it's something that facilitate their livelihood opportunities also.
Yes, sir. I agree upon that NTI. Yes. So thank you very much for this enlightening session. Sorry, my laptop got disconnected, so I'm coming through my phone. So
perhaps.
Thank you very much for that insightful session, sir.
Yes. But then do we still have time? Okay, maybe one more question if somebody is still not happy to go away without asking. Still, anyone, any participant? That means we are all fine. Once again, thank you, today's speaker. Also, all the participants for being here. So feedback form will be shared by my colleague. Our speaker, Dr. Kipchen, you can leave now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
me.
thank you so much for being with us today. We are really grateful to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.
So any announcement? Like those of you who missed yesterday, to the final day, there will be 3 sessions because we could not have one yesterday. So that will be 4 p.m. and then continues till 7:30 as usual. That's quick information I want to remind. Okay, that's it from my side.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yes.
sir. Yes,
That's
ma'am.
the information.
You
have shared the Google form, right, for feedback
yes, ma'am.
form?
I have shared the feedback form in the chat box, so participants can use that.
Yeah,
Google
probably
form.
they'll be asking us to share in the WhatsApp group. So please
WhatsApp.
put it
Okay.
there also.
Okay, I'll share it in the WhatsApp as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you very much. This evening we'll meet, and after this evening session, I'll give you an information related to yesterday's Google Sheet. Participants, today evening we'll meet and give you the information related to yesterday evening's Google Sheet which I shared. Okay, I do have few confusions because there are two names with the same thing, and I don't know for whom you have paid that money. And the Google Sheet is still not complete. Even if your name is not there, please add your name as per research scholar and faculty member and type your UTR number. We want you to check your names for the certificate purpose. Anyway, this evening after the Vice Chancellor session, I will share the screen online and we'll have a discussion there. Is that fine to all of you? Okay, I hope it's fine. So thank you all very much for joining us for this session. Another day to go. And yes, without your support, we would not have come these 5 days. Thank you very much for your constant support. So we'll end the meet here. Thank you.